All right, let's dive into something pretty powerful today. We're exploring this idea of being a chosen one. You know that feeling that you're somehow a disruptive force just by being you? Well, the idea here is that's not just in your head. It's actually a sign of a divine calling. So let's unpack what that really means. So let me ask you this. Have you ever felt it? That moment you walk into a room and it's like everything just changes? A lively conversation stops dead. People give you these weird looks, and you're just standing there thinking, what did I do? Well, what we're looking at today suggests it's not just you being awkward or some misunderstanding. It's because the whole thing isn't personal. It's spiritual. Yeah, you heard that right. It has nothing to do with what you're wearing or something you might have said. The real conflict is happening on a totally different plane. They're not actually rejecting you. They're reacting to the divine power that's inside you. And that brings us to this first big idea, a life set apart. Because if you feel this way, the argument is that this isn't some new development. Oh no, this has been your whole life, a journey that probably started way, way before you even had the words for it. And this is where it gets really interesting, because it asks you to reframe your whole life story. Think about it, that feeling of being different as a kid. Maybe you were told you were too sensitive, or asked too many weird questions. Well, here, that's seen as the very first sign of your calling. And those early struggles, those tough times, not random. They're framed as preemptive attacks against the person you were always meant to become. It all leads to what's called the Great Awakening, that moment, that turning point, where the light bulb goes on and you start walking in your real purpose. Okay, so if this is a spiritual battle, what is it that's causing such a massive reaction from people? What are they really afraid of? That's what we're getting into now. What darkness truly fears. And spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with you as a person. It's all about what you carry. The term for this is the anointing. Think of it as this, divine spirit inside you, a kind of fire of God. It's not something you go out and get, it's just in you. It's part of your spiritual DNA. And here's the kicker. You might not even be aware of it all the time, but the negative forces around you, they feel it. They can see it, even if you can't. Demons don't fear your face. They fear your presence. Man, that line just hits, doesn't it? It gets right to the core of this whole thing. The hostility, the rejection, it's not personal. It's not about how you look or your personality. It's a reaction to the powerful spiritual signature you're broadcasting, whether you know it or not. So how does that work in practice? Well, the idea is that you're like a walking, talking spiritual spotlight. Your light, your energy, it just exposes everything that's fake, everything that's hidden, all the brokenness. It's like you force the shadows to reveal what's in them. And you can imagine anything that loves to hide in the dark is not going to be a fan of that. And all of this leads to a massive turning point in the journey, the Great Awakening. Now, this isn't just something that happens to you. It's an active, conscious process. It's about remembering who you truly are, letting go of all the junk that's holding you back, and finally stepping into your own power. And this awakening is laid out in 4 key steps. First, there's the remembering. This is when you realize your worth isn't about what you do or how you look. It's inherent. That leads right into the shedding. This is where you start losing those fake friends, you know the ones, and you just can't stand shallow talk anymore. Next up is the alignment. You start saying no to things that drain you, and you set real boundaries. And finally, you get to the seeing. You start to see the world with spiritual eyes, to see beyond the surface level of things. And it all comes down to this powerful idea. You are not born to fit in, you were born to disrupt. I mean, let that sink in. That is a total 180 from what most of us are taught. Your goal isn't to be liked by everyone. Your purpose, from this point of view, is to be a divine disruption, to shake things up just by being you. Now, if your job is to disrupt, you're obviously going to get some pushback, right? And this brings us to a really, really powerful way of looking at it. All that resistance you feel, it's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's proof that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So look at this. It's all about reframing those negative experiences. That time you felt totally isolated? That wasn't isolation, that was preparation. That painful rejection, that was actually protection, saving you from something that wasn't for you. That heavy feeling you can't shake, that's spiritual warfare. And even betrayal, that's seen as a prophetic separation, just clearing the way for your true path. So the hardship you face literally becomes the evidence of your calling. Just think about it, right? Why would you be fought so hard if you weren't important? Why would people lie about you or cast you aside? Why would you feel so spiritually targeted, especially right before a breakthrough? The logic here is simple. Hell doesn't waste its time on people who don't matter. It boils down to this. Resistance is a sign you're advancing. It's confirmation that you've crossed into territory they don't want you claiming. Wow. So resistance isn't a stop sign, it's a mile marker. It means you're moving forward and you're making an impact. Okay, so you understand all this. You've reframed your past. You see the resistance for what it is. Now what? Where do you go from here? This final part is all about walking in your power. It's about taking this knowledge and actually living it. First thing to own right now, you are a divine disruption. You're not here to keep everything smooth and easy. You are here to bring a wave of divine, transformative energy. Second truth, you are a carrier of light. It's not something you have to find. It's not outside of you. You are the source. You carry it with you everywhere you go. And maybe the most powerful idea of all, your survival is a sermon. Every single thing you've been through, every battle you thought you'd lose but didn't, that's not just your past. That is a living, breathing testimony. It preaches a message of strength that no words ever could. And that brings us to the final thought. The world needs more than your success. It needs your soul on fire. See, in the end, it's not about the job, the money, the status. It's about who you are becoming. The real mission is to let that inner fire, that divine spark, burn as brightly as it possibly can. Thank you for joining us on The Explainer.